So I just want to show you certainly what I carry on the Wildrun, and and today I'm running this section day 3 on my own. They've sadly picked up some ITB on day 1, so but true to the nature of the Wildrun, for many sections of the day you will be running on your own unless you're running with someone you know, or you're running with someone who's around about the same speed. But more often than not, well, not more often than not, but in sections you'll certainly be running your own. But the essence of wild run and trail running in general is to be self-sufficient to a degree. So I'm just going to show you what I carry. Obviously, my bag and my bladder. I've got a 3-litre bladder in here. It just gives me more capacity certainly than I need. But I'd rather have slightly more than slightly less. So, and I certainly am not carrying any more than 2 litres for the day. Obviously, a comfortable running bag. The Adidas do make some great bags, and you just need something around about 15 to 20 litres. Really is ideal. That's enough to carry everything. 15 litres. Certainly, Chris was running with a 15-litre, and it was ample. I'm carrying a bit more kit just because I've got cameras and things like that, but anyway, so I'll just show you. I've got inside my bag I have a dry bag. It doesn't have to be this big, but this is a Sea to Summit dry bag. They work very well, and this is just to keep my shell. I've got a puff header shell here, and this is really just in case it gets really cold and maybe something happens and I can't run anymore, maybe ITB, and I have to walk and I'm getting cold. This is just to make sure that I might keep my core temperature up if I need to. Obviously in the Wildrun we have sweepers and they're in radio contact and things, so in terms of knowing where you are and being able to act, sort of get to points on the coast, we have rendezvous points on the coastline where you could go if you were really in trouble and wanted to pull out, where we would meet you to get you out. Anyway, so I've got my puff header fleece, or a windbreaker. I've got this windbreaker as well actually that I'm wearing now just when I'm sitting here waiting for the crew. It's fantastic shell from Adidas, really, really comfortable. In my pocket this morning, and I was running with a buff, and buffs are also very useful for if you cross the river and you do take your shoes off, you can clean your feet and keep your feet off the sand by using a buff, which is quite useful. Then I've got my phone in a dry bag. I can actually use this through the bag, so if I needed to keep this just to make sure that stays dry, is quite important. Being able to make contact with us if you need to, and obviously in there you need the contact number for one of us, one of the organisers in the Wildrun, so you can let us know if something goes wrong. And then obviously I have in my wings I've got some fuel. You can hear I've got some peanuts in there. I mean, I just carry variations of bars, Energies, and a goo in case things really go bad and I need a booster. So generally speaking, I carry something per hour. That's just me. Everybody varies, but I like to keep my body, my fuel levels up in my body rather than letting it drop too low. So I just top up every hour, or in the morning maybe an hour and a half, and then on the 2.5 hour mark, I start to sip on a bit of protein shake. This is a Hammer Perpetuum. It's my favourite for long distance endurance races, and it certainly works a bomb. It's a meal in a powder really, but it's formulated specifically for endurance for long hours. So 2 hours plus I start to sip on that. That's certainly what works for me. Everybody has a different formula for when they take protein shakes and things, but it really it's more than a protein shake. This actually it's got everything you need to keep that endurance fuel going. And then in terms of first aid, really just the basics on the Wildrun. The water isn't exactly, the water coming down the rivers isn't the cleanest in the world. Look, it's clean, but it's not, certainly not drinkable, and it obviously is at the end of its life, the river, so it has got a lot of stuff being carried down from the interior. So if you get scratches on your feet from crossing rivers, and that's one of the reasons I don't take my shoes off, if you get a cut from a barnacle or something, it can quickly fester. In the past I discovered that super glue is a fantastic thing to use to close cuts if you need to. So obviously just clean it out with some fresh water, put a little bit of super glue, and then close the slit. It's a temporary fix. Obviously stitches is ideal if it's a deep cut, but this really does work very well. I've got a couple of plasters. I have some Rehydrate. This is the best stuff for if you get dehydrated. This stuff works in minutes. It's absolutely fantastic. I always carry one of those with me wherever I go. And I've got some painkillers and some arnica tablets that I carry in my Ziploc bag, and then if really worst comes to worst, I have an emergency bag. They do work. I have used them. They work very well, so worth having. In your bag, lip ice. You are running into the sun every day, and on that note, a cap to keep the sun off your face, and sunglasses. You are running into the sun, and there's a lot of reflection off the beach, so worth keeping to protect your lips. And then of course I've got a camera for memory's sake, and that's pretty much it really. And so that's what I carry, and everybody has their own recipe, but the really important things are that you can communicate with someone, you keep your stuff dry, and you have enough fuel to get you from A to B, and obviously enough water to get you to A to B as well. Obviously each day you have a halfway point where you can top up with water and you can top up with fuel. So your maximum you're running is a half marathon on your own water and your own fuel before you can top up. So there you go. Use it or lose it.